People in the live chat are really fascinated with Master Teague, who got 12 carries in the game. Really happy with what he did. We talked backup running back last week, and the way it played out was that he got some looks. Again, 12 carries for Master Teague, 8 carries. My apologies. 8 carries for 49. Marcus Crowley, 4 for 27. Demario McCall caught a pass and carried it twice. Did you guys get enough looks at those guys to have any kind of an evaluation?
I think everybody wants to see more of Master Teague, but a lot of it is coming up against a defense that knows the game is over. And there's this interesting thing going around I'm seeing with a lot of Ohio State fans where they're almost turning. Some of them have already turned on J.K. Dobbins, where they are ready to see somebody else. They don't want to see another year like last year from J.K. Dobbins. And I don't think they saw anything in that first game that makes them think that he's going back to the 2017 form. Now, we would say this was, again, a simplified vanilla version of what Ohio State will be doing in the future on offense and probably on Saturday on offense. But it's time for JK to be more than a 4.4, 4.3, 4.7 yard per carry guy. That's not good enough at Ohio State. And if that's Master Teague, if it's Marcus Crowley, if it's Demario McCall, they need to be, they need to actually be pushing him. And maybe that's up to Tony Alford to see that it happens. And that's why you're seeing a lot of people want to see Master Teague, because they're tired of the 4 yards, the 3 yards, the 2 yards, and no home runs. And this was just one game, and he still rushed for 91 yards. J.K. Dobbins did. So I think this game is very important for him. If he busts out 120, then people are back on his side. If it's 12 carries for 40 yards, it's gonna get louder and louder for him.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the first half, I mean, really the first quarter, some of the runs he had, he showed patience, but he also showed some decisiveness out there. I mean, yeah, when the offense kind of bogged down and it looked like it was, just a lot of read options, Dobbins A-gap for one, Dobbins A-gap, no gain, Dobbins A-gap again and again and again. That, I think that's where the frustration is. But I think that a lot of that, too, it's a whole team situation there. I mean, They were tinkering with the offensive line. They didn't necessarily have the 5 guys in that had started the game. They made some quick substitutions to be able to cycle through that. So I get it, but I think that you're always going to have, regardless of what fan base you're talking about, that always want, there's a reason why Let's Make a Deal was such a popular game show. People could have, $2,000 in cash in their hand, but they're going to take the chance of getting the zonk behind curtain number 2 just because they want to see what they haven't seen.
Yeah, JK was rolling after 8 carries with 43, Claire.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to say some of the intangibles you're seeing out of JK against FAU were, yards after contact. We saw him, I definitely agree with Kevin as far as him looking more patient, more decisive, running behind these blockers. But really watching him display some toughness, falling forward, he definitely seemed like he's just a step away from a home run. So I don't think that I'm not disappointed in J.K. Dobbins, but I know exactly what Tony's talking about. Fans just want these, 6, 7, 8 yards per carry, and it's just not always realistic. I think it's going to be there for J.K. this season, and he's the kind of player that's going to work until he gets it.
I think one thing that people don't think about is that they did substitute on the offensive line. And when you do that, it does impact your chemistry and your cohesion a little bit. So I think you think about what you're looking at there. If you put in a Nicholas Petit-Frere or a Harry Miller or, one of the backups, there could be some missed assignments that come in there. And that's nothing against those guys. It's just the nature of being an 18-year-old guy, 19-year-old guy going in there and going up against older, stronger players. So, I think that they got something in the order of 70 guys into this game, which is probably almost everybody who figures to play who was healthy. There may be a true freshman or two that may still play that we haven't seen yet. I think my unofficial count was 6 or 7 of them got in the game, and that is what makes a game like the one they just played so important, that you look beyond the score or any of the factors or whatever. You say, my goodness, Zach Harrison probably played 20 plays or more as a true freshman in his first game in the uniform. And, you know, he and Javonte Jean-Baptiste, I'm bringing up defensive guys in particular, they have that athletic look that they are going to be stars one day. They're the future Chase Young, but they're where Chase Young was 2 years ago at this time, a young kid running around out there, a little underweight, and, you know, trying to figure out where the ball's going and those kind of things, and not maybe making that impact play just yet. But that was what was fun about this game, is we got to see so many guys between the redshirt freshmen and the true freshmen who got their first taste of being on the field for Ohio State, and are guys that are going to be keepers for years to come.